Hello Sensuals, welcome to my YouTube and Vimeo channels. This is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Here we talk about all things sexuality, intimacy, transcendence, growth. Today I want to do the video that I promised a while back, a comparison between sexological bodyworkers and somatic experiencing practitioners. Here's the rundown. First of all, I'm going to tell you where I come from with all the explanations. Number two, I'm going to look at the context in which you might approach a sexological bodyworker and a somatic experiencing practitioner. Then I'm going to present a bit about the methods. And last but not least, a bit about the results that you might expect. Please consider that this is not exhaustive. This is meant just to portray an explanation and to get you familiarized more with sexological bodyworker, somatic experiencing practitioners, and definitely encourage you to seek either one and learn more, possibly even have an experience and get the benefits. So here's where I come from with this entire discussion. I am, as of 2018, a certified sexological bodyworker. I finally got certified in Germany. And it was an entire road for that. And I've been practicing ever since. I've been using my method in one-on-one coaching sessions, individual one-time calls, in events, in online classes, and so on. A lot of the stuff that I share here is also from sexological bodywork. Granted, it's also my perspective, so please consider this with any particular specialist. No matter where they're trained, they will have their personal outlook on things and their personal unique way to apply and translate. Nobody's a robot. No human is a robot, and they can't really stick to a method without bringing a bit of themselves. Okay, that's valid in any field. Okay, from medicine to law to teaching to anything. The somatic experiencing practice, I am still in certification, so I went through half of the certification. As soon as the pandemic is over and we start doing learning and teaching in live, I will get back to it. As of now, I have used bits and pieces of what I've learned. I've obviously gone to the extensive classes, to workshops, meaning actually work groups, because we did practice during our learning modules. I've gotten into individual sessions as our method requires, group coaching or group guidance, and so on. So there is a bit about that I can already speak about, and I've already used in my work. First of all, here's where you would, or in what conditions you would approach a sex bod or an SE practitioner. So to a sex bod, you would basically go to when you want coaching, somatic coaching applied to sexuality. And in this situation, essentially, you would need to be conflict-free. So if there's something that bugs you inside, you're not in the right space for coaching. Bugs you, that's an euphemism. Basically, if you are free of inner tension, free of inner turmoil, up to the point where you can't focus, you can't stay persistent, you can't even handle your day-to-day stuff, that actually makes you not necessarily a match for coaching. Why do I say this? Coaching works with mobilizing all the resources that you have at any given point in order to reach a goal, an objective. Now, if you can't mobilize yourself, if you don't have the resources, if you don't have the time, if you can't stay persistent, consistent, perseverant, disciplined in a way, then perhaps it's a good thing not to approach coaching. If you are in the right space, then what you can work on is essentially new ways of expressing sexually, new sensations that you may want or wish to bring into your sexual life. Somatic openings, meaning have new sensations, feel new things in your body, not just around your genitalia. Maybe you want to feel more arousal, sexual pleasure on other parts of your body. Maybe that's not accessible for you right now. Maybe you want to work on your communication skills when it comes to explaining or understanding what you feel or what your partner feels. Communication and the vocabulary to communicate, the way to process stuff and translate stuff that is being said is extremely important in intimacy. And yes, this is something that you can work with a coach in a coaching process. When it comes to SE practitioners, well, if you do have an inner conflict, turmoil, something that for whatever reason you can't explain it, but you can see yourself that you can't focus, stay present, stay consistent even with your day-to-day stuff, not just around sexuality, by the way, then you're in the right place for therapy, because somatic experiencing practice essentially is somatic therapy. And we go to therapy not to work on precise goals and objectives for the future, but to process and mend things that in most cases happened in the past and they need addressing before you can move on with your life. And there is a time and a place for somatic therapy or SE practice, definitely as much as there is a time for coaching. So a few goals or objectives would be to tap into more of your vital energy. It's not a secret that when we have internal conflict, turmoil, we feel drained much faster. We can't focus for too long. We space out, basically. Sometimes maybe we fall asleep during really heavy, whatever it is, heavy reading, heavy watching different materials. The body basically will do things to pull you out of it, so to not keep you focused in a place where obviously it's too much and it can't take it. Maybe we're jumpy and we can't take too much until our fuse is lit and we explode. And what we want to do is actually increase our capacity to withstand difficult situations, tense situations at work, tense situations at home or in our personal lives, or simply the requirements that our loved ones have from us, and we can be more available to them. Yes, emotional availability is something that we can work on through somatic experiencing practice. If you've watched my video on emotional availability, then you know that I said that our availability goes down to our nervous system. Somatic experiencing actually works right down to the nervous system. That's what therapy does. It unblocks, rewires, de-stucks or de-blocks unblocks our nervous system, which got that way because maybe something happened to us or we witnessed something happening to others, and our entire nervous system rewired itself so that we could survive and cope with that situation. So everything that happens to us is, we can't control everything that happens, but the reaction, even up to the nervous system, it's our entire organism's way to cope, handle, protect itself, and survive and move on. That's not always the best thing to have in the long term, and definitely therapy can help you get unstuck, block, tap into more of your capacities for everything. Focus, presence, connecting, understanding, experiencing, all of that thing. Now let's look at the methods. Sexological bodywork. We do work with somatic techniques, which essentially could be brought down to 4: awareness in our body, so the connection with what happens inside our body, breath, sound, movement, touch, and our capacity to translate and to see or feel how our decisions, our way of showing up in intimacy is changed or affected by what happens inside our body. And obviously we work with what happens inside our body to steer ourselves in the place that we want to. Remember, in coaching, we work with goals, objectives, wishes, desires that we want to bring about in our life in the future, obviously. We don't have them now, but we have capacities, time, willingness, willpower, free will, and so on. And we use all of those to reach the goals that we set for ourselves. When it comes to SE, somatic experiencing, then essentially what we work with, or how we work, is through absolutely every single session, we tune into ourselves, get more educated around, well, the way of the body, how to describe what happens in our body, how to withstand more charge. What do I mean by charge? Discussions, emotions, challenges, all the stuff that life is made of. It translates in our nervous system in charge. And we work on having or freeing up space or making more room to withstand more charge, essentially. And that can be done gradually. It's definitely titration. That's a key word in SE. So we take it slowly. There's no overnight one wonder session that will just transform our lives and so on. That's actually not recommended. That the potential to screw up your nervous system is quite large when you go for those one-time wonder sessions. I call them that way, and yeah, I'm one to take things slowly. This method, somatic experiencing, does take things slowly. It doesn't have to take years, but it's not one shot. It's not you've had something bugging you or getting in your way for years, and then you go for one session or two sessions and then it's done. If you want sustainable change or transformation or improvement, you're gonna have to allow your body more time to develop. That's what, so SE is extremely gentle. It doesn't aim to get you dependent on it, okay? Again, it doesn't have to take years, but it's not 1 week, overnight, and so on. And the methods themselves, well, you work with your charge, your emotional charge, how you navigate it, how you move away from it relaxed, how you get back to it from a more empowered space, and so on. This is like a pendulum, okay? Life is a pulse, you know, and that's how the somatic experiencing method, though there's no way, nobody said it like that in our training, a pulse, I'm saying it. And if you've noticed, whenever you were in pain, it was not constant pain. It was going up, staying for a bit there, then going down, going up, going down, like a pulse, like your heart goes into cardio pulses. That's the same thing with the method. So it takes you gently closer to the charge, further away from the charge, and so on. Okay. Now, in terms of results, first of all, sex bod. Well, you reach, ideally, the goal, the wish, the desire that you came with. And you see yourself expressing more, feeling more, being able to communicate more or better or more powerfully in intimacy with more clarity, or you understand the other person better. Or you simply tap into your body and you have more awareness on how you express sexually, and you start to understand, okay, what are the constructive or useful or helpful or desirable for you signals from your body, and which ones are not, and how to, from that space of awareness, how to decide what to do next, so you don't unconsciously go into situations that maybe don't make you feel good, or you react but you don't know why you reacted, and so on. So you become more empowered, more in control, more connected, more aware of your sexual expression, and therefore more adept at relating sexually with others. By the way, I'm presenting this in a very serious tone, but it can be fun, and you're not gonna negotiate as if it was a business partnership when you're intimate with your partners. No, you're gonna have to, you actually come up with your words, your ways of saying things. This is a YouTube video, so I'm not turned on and I'm not speaking as if it was an erotic movie here, okay? But essentially, that's where it goes to. You have more power and more control over what you feel, or more connection with what you feel. And from that space, more power to decide how you want to move forward, not move forward, take a pause, take a break, move on, and so on. In terms of SE, the results that you get, first of all, are more education around your body and around your nervous system, super important. More space to process things. And overall, your capacity to be more present and more available for your own life. If sexological bodywork is narrowed, so it's a niche, it's for sexuality, you can't really take sexological bodyworkers and have them coach you for finances, or have them coach you for managing your relationships with your families and so on. Somatic experiencing practitioners, essentially they work with, I'm gonna say it, trauma. That's what it is. Traumatic memory, basically, with stuff that has happened to you, and you get to bring yourself back to how you were by default, so when you were born, open, fully present, with full capacity to be there and connect to others. So it restores you to the, default settings? You're not a cell phone for sure, but you go back to the way you were when you came out here, which was fresh, vibrant, magnetic, happy, and so on. It might take a while, okay? And in some cases, depending on what has happened, it maybe the progress or the transformation can be partial, maybe not complete. It depends on what happened and what stuff you're working with. It depends on how perseverant you are to come back to sessions until you're feeling empowered again and you get your full potential back, or you tap into your full potential. That's also a key thing here. That's also with SexBod. It takes time. The situation that got you to develop or grow or change something or heal something didn't happen overnight. You didn't stay just a minute with that and then you said, okay, I want to go cure this. The actual healing and transformation doesn't have to happen as fast as you would wish. So everybody has their own speed to process, to grow, to transform. And that's important in any, whether it's coaching or therapy. So there, that's it. That's my take on it. I would love to know what this video and this explanation did for you, so definitely leave me a comment below. If you feel called to work with me, then check out the first link under this video. You can go for individual sessions, a discovery call, online programs, and very, very soon, get ready for this, the Get Your Orgasmic Intimacy book. It's going to be published on Amazon, and it's definitely one very accessible way to tap into my knowledge, tap into learning that other 22 coaching clients had that I shared also in that book. In that book, you're going to get coaching questions as if I was there to ask you. I'm not going to be there to read your answers and help you process them, but it's actually, this book is going to help you get further along than any other book because this is a coaching book. So that being said, I would still love to know what you think about this video, and I wish you an orgasmic, intimate life, and see you in the next video.